Hey, Ty.
Carla, good to see you. How are you?
It's good to see you too. It's been a minute. The last time I was talking to you, you was dealing with cards and carrying on and starring opposite Tiffany Haddish. And now you're doing another intense role where you're playing a paramedic. I'm just curious to know, did you get a chance to read Shannon's book that this is based upon before you took on this role? And was
Sure.
that one of the things that convinced you to be a part of the project?
Of course, yeah. No, I definitely read the book, and yeah, Shannon was, it's loosely based on his life. He was a medic in the '90s in Harlem, and that's where the book takes place. Obviously, this version, the movie version of the story, is a much more contemporary telling that takes place mostly in East New York. So there are a few differences, but yeah, I think it really started there. And I actually remember back in the early days, because this project has been around since 2018. We
Right.
went we went to New York with Shannon in 2018, and went back to the old station that he actually worked at in Harlem. And we were originally thinking to make the movie there and be based there. And yeah, and over the years, the film kind of evolved, and the story started to evolve. And mostly the evolution was kind of inspired by the stories that we would hear from the EMS community. As we were meeting these medics and getting closer and closer to them, and they were sharing more stories with us, that those stories inevitably kind of bled into the fabric of the movie. And a lot of the stories that they told us are in the film, and there are stories now that our characters tell.
Wow, I was very intrigued by the film because my mother was a nurse for over
Mm.
50 years. And so I remember, some things kind of staying with her because she worked in all different facets of the
Mm-hmm.
medical industry as a registered nurse. So when
Mm.
I saw that, I thought I never once thought about how what my mother was experiencing at the hospitals could actually bleed over into her real life with us as her kids and how she navigated and dealt with us. So that was a very interesting spin on it that my entire life I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
When I talk to you about that scene, the one, that scene with that body in that tub, I was like, bless your heart with that right there. It was super realistic and very terrifying.
Mm.
Um, and I just want to know what it was like for you because I know it's make believe in
Mm.
the world of film, but someone
You got
um
it.
yeah, I got it. But I just feel like that was intense.
Mhm.
Was it as intense for you to portray it as it was for us to watch it?
Well, the whole movie was very intense. We had 23 days to make the film, and that's not a lot of time, especially not in New York. New
No.
York is very unforgiving when you're making a movie like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the entire film, we were up against the clock, and we were up against New York and the chaos of the city, and which is, a blessing and a curse, because that chaos, inherently kind of becomes a part of the film, which I think, makes it very intense and very real. But in terms of an environment of trying to make the film in, it was very yeah, it was very intense. So yeah, it was definitely one of the most challenging projects, if not the most challenging project I've ever worked on. Both from just like the context and the content of what we were dealing with, playing medics, but also yeah, just the up against the clock and the chaos of New York City.
You did that though. I'm such a fan of this. I'm such a fan of your work. I love watching
Appreciate
you in
that.
projects because you're just authentically yourself in the process of bringing these really complicated characters to the screen, and you do it with such realism and such breadth and depth that I always enjoy watching you. That's my
Oh,
time, Ty. I have so many other questions.
might hire you as my agent.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time, honey.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good to see you.